Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make tacos al pastor. All right, now we're going to get started on this marinade. The first thing we want to do is de-seed these chilies. We're working with 3 guajillo chilies and 2 ancho chilies. So we're going to de-seed these by cutting the tops off. And then we just basically want to open them up and bang the seeds out. Now if you're really sensitive to spice, make sure you get all the seeds out, but I'm really not fussed if a few stay in there. And if you're wondering where to get these types of chilies from, Amazon is your best bet because I struggle to find any of these locally, so I just get mine off Amazon. Alright, now we've de-seeded our chilies, we're just going to get them into a container because what we want to do next is rehydrate and soften them. So we'll get them in there, put some boiling water in, then we'll put a lid on and let them rehydrate for about 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, now while our chilies are soaking, we're going to slice our meat up. You can use a whole boneless pork shoulder if you want. I've just gone with a little pork scotch or neck fillet, which is from the shoulder anyway. Just going to give this a quick trim. The beauty about these is they don't really need much trimming at all. Just going to round off this thin edge there. And that is pretty much all I need to do with this. And now I'm just going to slice it into around 1 centimetre thick slices. Now if you have trouble slicing your meat because it's too sloppy, you can always put it in the freezer for an hour before you want to slice it, and that'll just firm things up. And you also want to make sure you've got a good knife as well. I always use Victorinox. It's a brand I use throughout my 10 years as a butcher. Absolutely love it. I never really will use anything else. But now our meat is all sliced up. Some beautiful quality pork I picked up from Austral Meat. We'll get started on the rest of this marinade and then we can add the chilies in once they are nice and soft. Alright, so for the marinade we're going to add a cup of pineapple juice, a 3/4 cup of white vinegar, then we're going to go 6 cloves of garlic, but if you're using normal sized garlic, go around 10 to 12 because that is one of the biggest garlic cloves I've ever seen. And most of them are around the same size. And then we're going to go 3 tablespoons of paprika. Now I'd like to be using achiote paste, but we can't get that here in the supermarkets in Australia, so you'll have to get that one online, which I forgot to do. And then we want 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, tablespoon of dried oregano, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, and then we'll check on our chilies. They are nice and soft now, so we'll add them in. And then we just want to blend that all up. And now that's mixed well, you can have a taste, adjust it to your liking. And then the next thing we want to do is we've got our pork in a bowl, and now we want to add our marinade. We want to give that a really good mix so that marinade gets in between all of the slices. Now there's lots of different recipes for this marinade. This one's just quick, easy to do, and it's still packed full of flavour. And then I'm just going to cover this bowl in cling wrap. And then you want to be marinating this for as little as 4 hours, but preferably 12 to 24 hours. Alright, so I'm going to get this in the fridge and we'll be back once this has had a good amount of time marinating. Alright, our meat's been marinating for about 20 hours now, so it's time to set our barbecue up. We're going to be using our Bronco Pro. So we'll take off our cooking grate and remove our heat deflector. Then we'll get some charcoal in our charcoal basket. Then we'll bury a firelighter in there and light it up. Alright, now for the fun part, we just want to take 2 1-inch slices out of this pineapple. Just knock the outside off. Alright, then you want to get yourself a nice tray. Then we're going to lay down 1 slice of that pineapple. I'm going to use a wooden skewer. We just want to stab into the middle of that pineapple so it stands up like that. And then we just want to get our meat and lay it on like so. And then we can get our other slice of pineapple and get that on top like so. And now this is good to go once our smoke is ready. Alright, now our charcoal's burning nicely. We'll shut our lid, open up both of our vents, and give our barbecue 5 minutes or so to preheat. Alright, now we are just below our target temperature, which for this cook I'm going to look to hold it at around the 275 to 300 Fahrenheit or 135 to 150 Celsius range. I've got a beautiful chunk of pecan I'm going to get straight on the fire. But if you've got another favourite smoking wood for pork, go ahead and use that. And I'm going to drop that heat deflector back in. I'm going to get this cooking grate in on the 2nd level. Now I will get this beautiful pork on. And then we can shut our lid and let that start cooking away. All right, so now our meat's in. You can either take it until it reaches an internal temperature of 145 Fahrenheit or 63 Celsius in the thickest part of that meat, or you can carve the meat off as it chars up on the outside, which is probably a more suitable option if you're cooking at more higher heat or on a rotisserie. But we've got around 2 kilos of meat there, so I reckon this is going to take around 1.5 to 2 hours. So while that's cooking away, we're going to make a quick green sauce, and we'll also make some tortillas to go with it. All right, now for our green sauce, we've got 3 small jalapenos. I'm just going to slice them in half, slice the tops off, and then we're just going to quickly de-seed them. And then we're going to use half a brown onion. I'm just going to roughly chop that. And then we'll use 3 tomatillos. Now again, you can't really get these in Australia, but I got these online, just from Amazon again. And now we'll get a pan on medium to high heat. We'll get a drizzle of oil in there. And then we'll get our jalapenos, onions, and tomatillos in the pan. And we just want to give them a few minutes until they've got some nice colour on them. All right, and then once your jalapenos, tomatillos, and onion have got some nice colour on them, we want to add them into a blender, along with around 5 cloves of garlic, a good handful of coriander, the juice of a lime, a good pinch of salt, cracked black pepper, and then we just want to blend that until it's nice and smooth. And then you can have a taste, adjust it to your liking, and we'll put it aside to use later on. All right, now we're going to make some corn tortillas. Super easy. We just want 1 cup of corn flour. Now that is the corn masa flour. You can't just go and grab any old corn flour from the supermarket. Again, I got that on Amazon. In Australia, you're probably going to have to go to a Mexican specialty store to get that. Then we're going to add a good pinch of salt. We'll mix that through while it's dry. And then to our 1 cup of flour, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of warm water. We're going to give that a good mix. And we just want to keep mixing that, and ideally you're looking for the consistency of Play-Doh. So if it's too dry, add some more water, and if it's too wet, add some more flour. And we really just want to work that for a couple of minutes until it's nice and smooth. I'm happy with that consistency, and I'm just going to sort of mold it into a ball. I'll leave it in that bowl. I'll cover that bowl either with some cling wrap or a damp tea towel, and I'll leave that for about 30 minutes just so that flour can really hydrate. All right, and we're almost 45 minutes into this cook now. This is looking really good, and any dry bits on the outside, I'm simply just going to start basting them in these juices that are starting to accumulate in this pan. Or alternatively, if you've got any of that marinade left over, you can also baste that one as well. All right, and I'm pretty much just going to let that keep going and baste them juices over every half an hour for the remainder of this cook. All right, our pork is not far off being ready, so we're going to finish these tortillas off. Normally I'll weigh these out to around 45 to 50 gram balls, but you can eyeball it if you want, like I'm doing right now. So what we're basically going to do is just roll them into a ball. I'm going to open my tortilla press up. You can roll them out with a rolling pin if you want. This is just quicker and easier. Baking paper, tortilla ball, baking paper on top, press down. Now I'm going to get that straight onto a nice hot pan. We'll give that around 10 seconds initially. Then we'll flip it over and give it 45 seconds on that side. Now if you don't have a tortilla press, you can roll them out by hand. This obviously just makes it quicker and easier. All right, and then after about 45 seconds, we'll give it a flip, and we should see it start puffing up. We'll give it about 15 seconds, and then we'll take it off, and that'll be ready. All right, now we've got a beautiful tortilla. You can fold that in half. It's not going to crack. And all I'm going to do is keep that under a tea towel, and we'll keep these going. All right, and this meat is pretty much done. It needs to go the tiniest bit further in the middle. But I'm just going to slice some meat off from the outside, and then we'll build ourselves a taco. We get a bit of that pineapple as well. All right, so we've got our tortilla. Going to lay down some of that beautiful meat. Dice up a little bit of that pineapple. Put that on top, and then we'll put some of that green sauce on we made earlier, and some white onion, and some coriander. Now, seriously, what's not to love about that? Let's have a taste. That's so good. You got that pork packed full of flavour. It's got a good chili kick, the freshness from that pineapple, that sauce. Wow, that's a good combination. Well, there you go. There's how to make tacos al pastor. They'll honestly be some of the tastiest little tacos you'll ever have. So definitely give them a try. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. But for now, that's the end of the video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.